courts from undue influence. Such frameworks will address methods of appointment, monitoring and evaluation, discipline, and the general administration of the courts. Institutional independence is vital to ensure that relevant steps that needed to be taken to create the necessary templates for the securing and sustenance of independence are put in place. Institutional independence is one thing, and the behavior of the judges of magistrates and other judges of lower courts is another. There are two different issues because institutional independence is no guarantee that judges are bound to behave in the required independent manner. This is the more reason it has become necessary that within institutional independence, the behavior of judges, including those at the lower courts, should also be put in focus. The issue of behavior of judges, magistrates, and other judges of the lower courts bring to mind the other level of independence, namely the aspect of individual independence. This has to do with the state of mind and actual conduct of judges at all levels. The individual independence of a judge will depend on a variety of issues, including their professional instincts, as the level with which they have imbibed professional values and social exposure. Although individual independence differs from institutional independence, the latter provides enabling environment for the former to exist. The fact is that the two dimensions of independence in the judiciary are both intricately and mutually connected. The judiciary, as an institution, must be independent, and the judges, magistrates, and other judges of the area, Sharia, customary courts, and indeed all cadre of courts employees must equally be individually independent and free from any external influences. Where an individual possesses the required frame of mind, but the court over which he presides is not independent of external influence, wherewithal and to what extent can the independence of the judge as an individual be situated or impactful? In the same vein, a judge, magistrate, or other judge of the lower court who belongs to and identify with social activities of every club, social or cultural organization in town is obviously going to have issues with his independence as an individual. A judge or magistrate who hobnobs with politicians, his money-backed friends and celebrities who probably sponsor his lavish lifestyle will certainly find it difficult to be an independent arbiter. Institutional independence of the judiciary goes far beyond merely proclaiming or inscribing judicial independence in the statute books and churning out some codes of ethics on paper. The judiciary must be intentional in mapping out practical and proactive programs of action to pursue, secure, and protect its institution from external trepidation. Individual independence also relates to the judge's or magistrate's ability to decisively maintain the balance or restraint from the two extremities of neither being pro-government of the day nor a judicial activist in opposition. His decision must not be tainted with political sympathy, personal opinion, or politically motivated shared support for the government of the day. At the same time, judges, magistrates, and other judges of lower courts need not take judicial independence to mean judicial rascality and excessive or abusive use of judicial powers to dish out affordable orders. This is not intended to promote cowardice and timidity at the bench and make a judge or magistrate cringe or shy away from dispensing justice within the confines of his jurisdiction. Personal independence is a safeguard for the judge's ability to uphold the fundamental rights of citizens, check abuse of power, and guarantee fair trials devoid of fear, favor, ill will, or affection to Nigerian people. It enables the judge to personally prepare to be held accountable for whatever action he takes at any given time. There lies the full import of judicial independence. An independent judge, magistrate, or other judicial judges of the lower court, will strive to uphold the rule of law, for it is in so doing that the independence of the judiciary can both be guaranteed and sustained. As I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this paper, the concept of separation of powers and the rule of law are meant as the bedrock for judicial independence, and at the same time, it takes an independent judiciary for rule of law to be upheld in the polity. The challenges to judicial independence. I've enumerated them as executive interference and control for this, see page 12. Absence of true judicial bodies, see page 16. Corruption, see page 17. Funding of the judiciary, page 18, particularly at page 20. Personnel and court administration, see page 23. And then conduct and discipline in the judiciary, see page 24. I've taken this course of action to enable me navigate through the gamut of what I've written. I've come to the journey so far. The Nigerian judiciary has come a long way in the struggle to secure and sustain the independence of the judiciary over the years. The Nigerian government has equally demonstrated keen interest in instilling an independent judicial organ in the polity through legislation. The 1999 Constitution, as altered in comparison with its predecessors, made tremendous impact in addressing the challenges to attainment of judicial independence. One of such breakthroughs is the establishment of the National Judicial Council. As noted earlier, the principle of checks and balances enable the three arms of government to interfere in what should naturally work for the overall interest of governance. But through their overbearing influence, the executive arm usually exploit this window to interfere and sometimes bully the judiciary. With the National Judicial Council, there is a shared role between the judiciary and the executive in the appointment, removal from office of judicial officers. In either case of appointment and removal from office of a judicial officer, the executive only acts on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, which, though is an executive body, is headed and predominantly constituted of members and stakeholders in the judiciary. This has gone a long way to sanitizing the appointment process at the center. With the NJC saddled with the responsibility of recommending to the president or governor the appointment or removal from office of judicial officers, and also the exercise of disciplinary control, a level of protection is provided for judges' tenure of office. A head of court or a judge cannot be removed from office without the input from the National Judicial Council. Thus, no member or chief executive can wake up one morning and pretend to dismiss a judicial officer in Nigeria. In the case of Elelu Habib against the Attorney General of the Federation Citation Supply, the Supreme Court, in considering the propriety of the purported removal from office of the then Chief Judge of Kwara State, held that the fact that the NJC has a vital role to play in the appointment, removal, and exercising control over a Chief Judge of a state under Section 2711 of the Constitution, and also under paragraph 21 of Part 1 of the text schedule to the same Constitution, is not at all in doubt. The revered Apex Court did hold that the Constitution does not give a governor acting in conjunction with the House of Assembly the absolute power to remove a chief judge of a state from office without the recommendation of the National Judicial Council. The National Judicial Council, as highlighted earlier, is also responsible for collection, control, and disbursement of all monies, capital, and recurrent for the judiciary at the federal level. But for the state judiciary, it is only recurrent expenditures of the judges or superior courts of record that is affected. It is the NJC that now handles the budget preparation for each year's appropriation in conjunction with the various state judiciaries for the purpose of salaries of judges of superior courts of record in the states. Assess the funds and disburse accordingly. To that extent, the judiciary at the federal level is saved the trauma of going cap in hand every now and then to beg for funds from the executive, as is still the case in the states. The 1999 Constitutional Assault Act also established the tenure of office of judges, which by the recent alteration of the Constitution signed into law by His Excellency the President on the 8th of June 2024 has been pegged at 70 years. This is intended to unify the retirement age and pension rights of judicial officers across the country. This new act also reduced the period of service required for a judicial officer to receive full pension from 15 to 10 years as a way of creating incentive for judges to continue in service, bringing the experience and wealth of knowledge to bear